right now I'm just doing basically just doing setting up the events for the giveaways, prize packs, like when DJ set up everything.
I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Blues, women, and blues. I'm here, I'm there, I'm
Hey
everywhere.
folks, Dr. Brian King here. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, on the road with my good friend Ash Newland. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. We've been touring for a little while, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
You're a comedian as well, right?
Yes, I am.
You want to tell people about yourself since this is your first time co-hosting?
Yes, absolutely. I lived in Nashville for 10 years, been a comedian for a while, got my start in Nashville, and decided to move to Dallas last year and just been blowing up.
Blowing up, man, let me tell you. And we're here in Nashville. This is your home turf. We're at an open mic in East Nashville, and I just happened to run into a good friend of mine, an old friend, a comedian from Florida. He's toured with me previously. We've been all over the country together, and you've never met him before.
No, I just emasculated him over the phone.
Yeah, I know. His actually, normally I'd have you, introduce the guest, but since you've never met him before, I feel like, well, that doesn't seem right. So I'll introduce him, folks. My good friend, Mr. Shawn Mark. Was that an awkward entrance? Was that what it was?
It's me.
It's you. Well, you're kind of an awkward guy, you know. First of all, I know you. Right? Ash has never met you before, so introduce
Nice
yourself to
Hi,
Ash.
nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm an addict.
Most comedians are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Addicted to attention.
Addicted to attention and literally many other chemicals.
We were neglected by our parents, let's just say that.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah.
You know what? That is the worst entrance.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's a beautiful woman, and you gave you like the shittiest elevator pitch of yourself
I
there.
have that talent with men. Like, I make them basically be speechless.
I know.
No, okay, so we could go with...
Yeah. Tell us who you are, what you do. Tell her.
Currently, I serve as on the executive board for the Nashville TGA grant area for Ryan White Part A.
Okay.
Help oversees funds for the HIV community here in the middle state of Tennessee. I also serve on that as the consumer conscious chairman. And I'm an ambassador for a message here in Nashville currently to spread the message of what we do. But the thing that Brian was saying, last year I was on a TV show. Basically due to my separation anxiety, being adopted and not knowing who my biological family was. It was a TV show called Relative Race. Me and my teammate made it all the way to day 10, but didn't win. Still.
This is a TV show that I've never heard of prior to Shawn being on it, right? It's where Shawn is adopted and he never knew his family, and they've grabbed a lot of other adopted people and they put them in cars and have them race all over the country to meet family members that the producers found your family first, right? Yep. And then you had to go follow clues and stuff and introduce yourself to them, right? So tell me this: what if you didn't win the race? Like, what if you didn't go all the way? Would you not be able to meet those family members?
Well, I think fans of the show would already know this answer, but there's certain things set up to where the family members would still be revealed, just not in a grand way that would have them filmed and shown to people.
Gotcha. Okay. I do want to talk about that. You jumped into it though. I wanted to talk about comedy. I wanted to talk about you're a comedian.
Retired.
Are you really retired?
I don't know. Possible.
We're gonna do an open mic tonight. Ash, you gonna get him on stage?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the incentive is for him.
Yeah, Shawn, you love the attention. I love being on stage.
I got a wife and kids now. I guess that's new. No longer bachelor, crazy.
I know.
Wild.
So this
can still be a wild. Dad's gone wild.
Well,
there we go.
There you go. Dad's gone wild. Perfect.
Wow.
This is what I think is fascinating about Shawn, and I'm just going to share because you're not going in the direction I want to. Okay. All right. Shawn. Adopted. You were given up for adoption, right? Mom had some problems. You used to say you never knew her, right?
Yeah.
And up until the TV show, you never knew your dad.
Yep.
He was born HIV positive, right? Are you still HIV positive?
Pretty much.
You sure?
Yeah.
And so So yeah, he was born HIV positive and just had a rough life, man. A hell of a rough life. Alcoholism, drugs, that kind of stuff. You know, a bout of homelessness. You know. In fact, you first moved to Nashville as a homeless person.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like this is a hell of a story because you went from homeless addict living on the streets in Nashville to wife and kids, being on TV, finding a family, brand new teeth. You know. I mean, like you have a story, Shawn. Like this is what I want you to tell Ash.
Well, that's really cool.
I try to be humble.
If you crave attention, there's no room for humbleness.
And I like the smile. I like the teeth. The teeth look good. You know?
Thank you.
What is that like to go through that kind of transition? I mean, what's it like to live life as a normal person? You know, you're like a normie now. You know, what is it to be a normie?
Well, you know, then I found out on the show that I actually come from two homeless people. So I'm actually just right in the mold. So like I'm doing great as far as, you know, where I come from. So.
Oh, it turns out that your parents were homeless? Oh, wow.
Actually, we just got my dad housed this past December as a result of getting in touch with him. We were able to get him home.
Wow. That's such an incredible story. And you know what? You owe it all to BYU. which is you know, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's a Mormon university. So you owe your entire. Are you a Mormon now? Is that why you're not drinking alcohol tonight?
I am just drinking water because it tastes great, and I am grateful for the people at BYU. Thank you again for having me on.
I'm just messing with you. I know you're you know, in the program or whatever it is. Or you're trying not to drink, you know. So Shawn, Ash is touring with me now. You and I used to tour together. You remember that? What was that like?
Hectic. Very hectic. Was still drinking pretty much the whole time that I wasn't working. So, yeah, I don't remember much of that tour, but except for the really important parts. Not getting into Canada, my first lap dance, not from you, and Chicago. Yeah, Chicago was very interesting.
I don't remember taking you to Chicago. Did we go to Chicago?
It was where we started in Indy, yeah.
Oh, right. I do remember Canada. Ash, you might appreciate this. So
you actually were in Canada.
Yeah, so I had managed to book us a comedy show in Windsor, Ontario, which is literally right across the border from Detroit, you know? And we start crossing into Canada, and we go through, you know, the Ambassador Bridge, I think it was, or the tunnel, however we went. But we're on the Canadian side, and they chose our car for some kind of inspection, you know? And of course, Shawn and I give them our IDs. So I'm not thinking anything of it. And then all of a sudden, they come up and they say, "Shawn, you can't enter the country." You know, what was that?
Yes, do tell.
Just, you know, we were both speaking English, but like not the same English, and there was just a failure to communicate, and I was criminally innocent to Canada over a pack of cigarettes, so, you know, I cried for about 2 hours, and then Brian took sympathy on me and helped me get a hotel room in Detroit, abandoned me, and then we continued the tour the next Monday. But, you know, it was, you know, all's well that ends well, you know, like...
I had a gig. I mean, I abandoned you, and I went back across Canada to honor the gig. Yeah.
We're reliving his trauma.
There you go.
It's totally fine, you know?
But in all fairness, though, you did end up getting your first lap dance while you were there.
Yeah,
so.
No, shout out to Bazooki. You know, it's a great club if you're in the area.
Now, that's the stripper name that I've never heard of before. I've usually heard Diamond, Emerald, the typical stripper names, but never Bazooki.
The club's name is Bazooki.
Okay, then what's the name of your stripper then?
Yeah.
You know, it was about 12 Coronas in, and Brian was like, "It's 2 p.m., man."
I feel like you should remember. I feel like you should remember. You had a drinking problem. No way. No, but you know what's interesting about that is when you got turned away at the border because you committed a crime in the United States, right? You stole a pack of cigarettes, right? And then you served your time in America, like you did, you know, whatever punishment was required of you for selling cigarettes. But Canada didn't think you had been punished enough.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And so that was my first realization that Canada is tougher on crime than the United States. They really are. So I own property in Canada, and I don't want them to ever prevent me from entering the country. So I'm never stealing cigarettes. Bottom line is, are you still smoking?
I'm trying to quit. Working on quitting.
Yeah. You've cleaned up a lot of your life. I think that I'm really proud of you for the changes you've made and for the things that you've done. I don't think smoking should be a high priority. You know what I mean? But if you can do it, you can do it. But you've changed a lot, man. You never met him before.
If you were in the Nashville area the same time I was, and you were doing comedy stuff and you were creepy, then yeah, I stayed away from the creepy guys.
So now that we've established your backstory, all right, let's talk about this whole TV show thing. It's a pretty big show. Like, I mean, it got a lot of attention. How'd you get him?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's Mormon.
Hold up. I mean, yeah. I don't do Mormon stuff.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you got NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, and then you got like 100 other channels before you're going to go to BYU.
I think more importantly, it's not just Mormon. It's more. It does fall within the Christian context, but they've had non-believers involved in the show as well.
That's great.
So it's not just like that, but that is the market that it's usually aired in.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. Actually, as somebody, I know a lot about the Mormon Church, and one thing they are really interested in is genealogy and family. And so it didn't surprise me actually that this particular show with the family focus was, on BYU. But I just thought it was funny. But how'd you get involved with them though?
Well, weirdly enough, my fiance, she bought me a genealogy kit, one of those Ancestry DNA kits, and so I spit in a tube. And then I get an ad on Facebook like a week later that the show's on there. And so I fill it out, just like, well, no one's going to contact me, like whatever. But I started watching the show just like happenstance, right? And then sure enough, I started getting calls from Utah, and I was like, no, bill collector, no.
Yeah.
But like after, 8 of them in a row, I answered, and they're like, yeah, we want you to be blah, blah, blah. So that kind of started it. And then, yeah, like it was really quick after that.
All right.
Just one thing after another.
Well, they just announced that they're starting the open mic, so I think that means we have to cut this podcast short. I wish we had more time, but we're going to catch up anyway. We're just not going to do it on camera, I just wanted to see you, man, and I wanted to say hi, and I also wanted to get you back on my podcast because we recorded an episode a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I just wanted to do like a little update. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of all the changes you've made, and I really look forward to watching you perform tonight, even though you claim to be retired. Ash, any closing remarks or anything? I know this is a quick one. I put you on the spot.
Let's get the show on the road and let's kick ass on the stage.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening or watching, depending on how you're consuming this. And this has been another episode of On the Road with Dr. Brian. Thanks. Bye-bye.